Shalom, 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 yasha'Allah. This your boy, Brother Allah, back at you with another quick edifying video. Today's lesson is going to be called, For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath. All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Call Halal Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahawah, and His only begotten Son's name, who you ignorantly call Jesus, whose name is Yahawashi. All right, and the Holy Spirit, which is the Rawchaa Qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, who have ruled well to the Spirit, and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days, and has pushed this gospel and this truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom. Another mighty shalom to all you Akim out there laboring on the highways and on the hedges and on the unicorn, which is this internet, pushing this 100% doctrine, this 100% truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom to you all as well. All right, like I said, today's lesson is going to be called, For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath. All right, and just came across this article from Baller Alert. It says, ICE can now depart you to a whole new country with just 6 hours warning. ICE can now depart you to a whole new country with just 6 hours warning. All right. It says the Trump administration's hardline immigration stance is making a comeback, and this time it's moving at lightning speed. Okay. It says a newly surfaced memo from U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, dated July 9th, outlines a policy that could see immigrants deported to countries that aren't even their home nations with as little as 6 hours notice. Under this directive, migrants would typically get 24 hours before removal to a third country. It says, but that window can shrink dramatically in emergencies as long as they have had a chance to speak with a lawyer. It says the ICE memo, signed by Acting Director Todd Lyons, states that deportees can be sent to nations that have agreed not to persecute or torture them without requiring any additional legal review or screening. This aligns with the Supreme Court's recent decision to lift a previous restriction that required feare persecution screenings before such deportations could proceed. It says the fallout was immediate. Shortly after the ruling, 8 individuals from countries including Cuba, Mexico, Myanmar, and Vietnam were flown out to South Sudan, a country few of them had ties to. It says the Trump team is also pushing several African nations, including Liberia, Senegal, to take in more deportees from outside their borders. For many migrants, the next destination may not just be unexpected, but completely unfair. All right. So this is what's going on. All right. This is what within 6 hours. All right. You could be deported to another country, a country that's not even yours. All right. You know, and that surely, hey, this is, we know. All right. The Lord is speeding up this stuff. All right. Let's go ahead and get into it, right? It's got a couple of scriptures. It's got a couple of scriptures here. Matter of fact, Salakia, you know me. Let's go to Revelation, right? Revelation chapter 12. Let's get into it. Let's go to Revelation 12 and 12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabiters of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath. Why? Because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. All right. And you see, all right, you see the workings. All right. They said, it was 24 hours. Now it's 6 hours. 6 hours time, you could be deported. All right. Through special emergencies, right? And of course, what do you think is going to consist of a special emergency? Now, if you saw that, right, it said July 9th, right, where most of y'all, Jakes, right, we're still drunk off the, celebrating, Esau's independence, right, or Babylon, I say Babylon's independence, all right, while you was sitting there still, running off that, and they was coming up with different, they're coming up with these different laws, these different things, okay? But hey, the devil knows that he has a short time, all right? So what is he doing? He's putting these things in place, right? He's getting folks out of here record time, all right? In less than a time of a shift at the plantation, all right? He could have you out and deported somewhere, all right? And this is who we're coming up against, all right? This is what you got to understand, man, right? It says, matter of fact, let's get that, 1 Peter 5 and 8. It says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Okay? And we know, right? We know what this tactic is towards. All right? You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right? As you are the Israelites. All right? You started with the Northern Kingdom, and best believe the Southern Kingdom is next. Okay? Let's get Deuteronomy. Right? Deuteronomy chapter 28 and let's go to verse number 49. It says, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 49, and it says, and Yahawah, Bahasham shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. It says, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. Right? Remember, they're going into these. They was going into schools while they was in session. Kids was graduating. They was going into the schools, snatching up. They're in the farm fields, right? Snatching people up. All right. The scriptures say they're gonna, wear out the saints of the Most High. What is that? What's that? Daniel chapter 7 and verse number 25. Right? It says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. All right? These so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right? The Israelites. All right? Or the saints. It says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change the times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and a times and a dividing of time. All right, but they're wearing them out, man. Right? There's no rest. Right? That's why the book of Micah says that this is not your rest. Okay, this is not your rest. All right, let me just get that real quick. Right, our people, man, you looking for this place that's trying to get you out, man. All right. It says, Micah chapter 2, verse 10, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction. Okay. Hey, and this devil, man, he knows he has a short time, and his wrath is fierce. Okay. And he's coming up with these these laws, right? But I want to get this real quick. Second Esdras, right, chapter 16, and let's go to verse number let's go to verse number 70, right? Second Esdras chapter 16, verse 70 says, "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear Yahawashi." All right, it's the saints, right? Wearing them out. All right, taking, it's just like in the old. These, like I say, it's nothing new under the sun, right? The things of old are coming back. All right, and a lot of them never left, right? These curses, all right, taking your sons and daughters shall be given into another people. All right, hey, all these things, right? Remember, we're headed into this great this great time of what's the word I'm looking for? Salakia. This great time of distress. Okay. It says, "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear Yahawah Bahasham El Shai." It says, "They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear Yahawah Bahasham El Shai. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses." Right? And think about that, right? You got people who've been here, who've settled into this, got, houses and different things, right? And guess what? 6 hours, they could be headed to a different country now. All right? And so he's going to be like madmen, right? We're in these times. All right? You got to, and remember, we were saying this before, hey, the devil is going to show himself. He's going to show his horns, right? While our people continue to, look for this, these people to comfort us and to find a solution. Hell no, right? They're coming down with great wrath because they knoweth that they have but a short time. Okay? And they're coming out with their unrighteous decrees, right? Like what is that? Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1, right? And they could care less, right? Young or old, right? Doesn't matter. All right. It says, Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed," right? While everybody was sitting there shooting fireworks, right? Having a blast, right? They're coming up with plans. All right. Psalms 83, right? They're confederate against thee. All right. So while you were sitting there, celebrating, like I said, Babylon's independence, right? Guess what? They're writing how to destroy you. They're writing how to, remember they say they can't sleep. Their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. All right. So it says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people. The widows may be their prey, that they may rob the fatherless." All right, but they write these unrighteous decrees. Okay, it's all in favor of them. Okay, it's all in their favor. Okay. But that's why, like I said, the scriptures tell you, that this place, Babylon, right, aka spiritual Sodom and Egypt, right? It's also known as Egypt. Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 4, it says, "And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith Yahawah Bahasham El Shai, Yahweh Bahasham El Shai of hosts." Okay? So the Egyptians, right? Yahweh Bahasham El Shai is given over unto a cruel Lord, a fierce king. All right? Who is what? Who is pushing these unrighteous decrees, right? While you sitting there, going out to the grocery stores to get your barbecue so you can celebrate, this place independence, and they're trying to get you caught up in these traps. Okay? Let's go to the cruel Lord, right? So let's go to the book of 3 Holy Children, right? I believe it's verse number 9. We'll start at verse number 8, right? Now remember, these things that have come upon us, all right? But this is 3 Holy Children, right? Or the prayer of Azariah. We'll start at verse number, start at verse 6. It says, "For we have sinned and committed iniquity, departing from thee. In all things we have trespassed and not obeyed thy commandments, nor kept them, neither done as thou hast commanded us, that it might go well with us. Wherefore all that thou hast brought upon us, and everything that thou hast done to us, thou hast done in true judgment." Right? Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. All right? This is why. All right? Remember, Deuteronomy 28 and 15. All right? If we did not obey the voice of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, all these curses will come upon us. Okay? And these things are written. All right? And we are carrying them out now. All right? It says, and thou didst deliver us into the hands of a lawless enemies, most hateful forsakers of the Most High, and to an unjust king and most wicked in all the world. All right? That's what we've been given over to right here in Babylon. All right? These unjust kings. All right? Listen, you see, he could care less about even his own people, right? They had their own little make this place great again, right? And a lot of those people, well, guess what? Their jobs is getting cut, right? They're getting laid off, right? Stuff is closing. Everything is closing down all around here, right? It's all types of stuff going on. All right. Why? And he's moving quickly because he knows that he has a short time. All right. And he's going to, accomplish. And like I say, he's going to be like a madman. All right. It's going to be like a madman. All right. You see that 6 hours, right? People can be deported. And think about that, man. You got family, something, you coming from the plantation, wherever it may be. All of a sudden you get hemmed up and you're on a plane. And we know, right? We've heard the stories. All right. Where people, dumped off, still tied and chained up, right? In these oceans, bodies washing up on the shores, man. Don't think these are fairy tales, man. This is reality of what's happening. All right? All right, because we've been given over to this cruel Lord, right? The most hateful forsakers of the Most High, and to an unjust king and the most wicked in all the world. Okay? And guess what? He's going to, Nero, aka Trump, he's going to be, the Lord is putting that spirit upon him to do just as the scriptures spoke about, right? He's going to be the unjust king, okay? All right, and we see it playing out now, all right? But he knows that he has a short time, right? And they're going to continue, all right, to persecute and to wear out the saints of the Most High at the end of the day. All right. This is why, listen, you so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you Israelites, you're going to need your power, your true power source, man, which is Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. We keep warning, we keep telling you. All right. That's why Ezekiel said, give them warning. All right. From me. All right. Go to them of the captivity and give them warning from me. All right. We continue to give you this warning. All right, to show you, all right, that you don't know who you messing with. You don't know who you're shaking hands with in these times. All right, so I just wanted to do this quick lesson, right? Lord's will. This was edifying, right? With that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Kol Halal Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. Peace and blessings to the elect of the 12 tribes scattered abroad. A mighty shalom to the 144,000 men Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who have ruled well to the spirit and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days. Another mighty shalom to the rest of the elect out there, man. Stay diligent, stay focused, keep praying for one another. All right, keep enduring and keep this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding and the stability of your times, and keep the names of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi close unto you and call upon them, right? Though they are your it says the name of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is a strong fortress. All right, the righteous run into it and are safe. All right, in these last days. All right, you got to keep that on your clip, man. That's your spiritual weapon out there. All right. And with that, we say a ball, and shalom.